Welcome back to another book recap. Thanks for coming along with me, and let's just jump right into it. So the book, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson, gave me a lot of mixed feelings on it. To start out with, I really enjoyed the tone. It's got a very similar tone to some of those books, A Man Called Ove, written by Fredrik Backman, and Jonas Jonasson is also a Swedish author, so I wonder, is some of the tone a cultural thing? If anyone has recommendations of more Swedish authors, please let me know, because it had a very light-hearted way of talking about subjects that could be heavy, and I thought that was fun, very humorous. We follow Alan Carlson, where he escapes his nursing home and steals a suitcase and runs off on some fun adventures, being chased by the law and a crime organization. Then we also follow him in his younger life, where he somehow has gotten involved with every single major historical event in the past 100 years. So it's fun, and it's kind of cute, and it's a very fun take on history, a maybe more absurdist take on history. But I just felt like by the end, it was too much. I didn't care about all of these weird connections that Alan had with all of the world leaders. It just felt like that guy in the party who's like, oh yeah, I met the president once too. And I get that the book was trying to make fun of that, but at a certain point, it's not meaningful to the plot. There was no depth. It was just, let's throw in a bunch of important events in the last century. And I didn't connect with it. I feel like while it was supposed to be lightweight and fluffy, it lacked some depth that could have been written in there. Some meaning could have been put in there other than just, oh, nothing important happened. I did look up the author, Jonas Jonasson, and he was a journalist, and I wonder if he was trying to make some sort of statement that Alan was trying so hard in his life to be apolitical and somehow ended up in all the major political events in the past century. So whether you are involved in politics or not, you are going to be involved, even if you don't think that you are. I don't know, maybe it was something like that. Maybe he just wanted to write a history book of the past 100 years and thought that he was being funny, which, I mean, it's a fine book, but I don't know. I just have some weird mixed feelings on it. I would love to hear anyone else's opinions on this. Did you get bored by the end? Did you feel like it was just too contrived and kind of annoying? Or did you really think it was a good historical kind of absurdist take? So please let me know, because I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I gave it 3 stars because kind of good, kind of bad. I don't know. So, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik is so fun. I enjoyed every minute of reading it. We follow Elle in her second to last year at a wizarding school. It's very in the style of Harry Potter, but it's a little darker. We've got all the monsters that want to kill all of the students at this school, and by the time they leave the school, about half the students are gonna be dead, and the school is just teaching them how to survive. So it's kind of dark, and we follow Elle, who has a magical talent for destructive events, and she makes friends with kind of our Harry Potter chosen one type character who wants to save everyone and is really good at it because the monsters don't seem to want to kill him as much as everyone else. And so I had so much fun with this. I loved reading it. I only gave it 4 stars though. The only reason I knocked off a star was objectively there were problems with the writing. The author just told us everything that happened, used so much exposition, and didn't really bother to show us. The way that this works in Harry Potter, for example, we go with Harry to school, and as he learns about things and he encounters things, we see it, we are shown it, and we understand. In this book, since it's jumping in toward the end of her schooling career, instead of showing us what is going on in this world, we're just told. It's a lot of, this is this monster, this is why we do this is what's happening in this school. And that can get really old. I didn't mind because I'm a sucker for this kind of story, but I can see how it is a problem with the writing. I did feel like it was overboard even when I was completely buying into it. So that was a problem, and I do have one other big problem, and that's that the second book's not out. I don't think it even has a release date yet. So I cannot wait for the next one. Although, if it doesn't come out soon, I'm sure I will forget about this by the time the next one comes out. But it's a lot of fun. If you like Harry Potter, highly recommend. If you don't like Harry Potter, you probably won't like a book like this either. Another day, another depressing memoir. So I read Memorial Drive, A Daughter's Memoir by Natasha Trethewey, and this was excellent, 5 stars. I highly recommend it. It follows Natasha as she's working through her feelings and explaining her memories of her mother and her relationship with her mother. When Natasha was 19, her mother was murdered by her ex-husband, Natasha's stepfather, and this was a hard thing that she didn't process very well, and years later she was able to go back and look at what happened and try to get back part of her mother through that. And I thought it was excellent, especially as an illustration of how to work through trauma through art. I thought that was excellent. It also had very stark illustrations of domestic abuse. There were transcripts directly of her mother talking to her ex-husband the day of her murder. The police had been recording those conversations, trying to get evidence against him even before the murder. And if you want to understand what is going on in those types of relationships, that's exactly, like, that illustrates it very well, and it is so hard to read. But this book is an emotional ride, but excellently written, and I would give it 5 stars. Just a really great look into things, but it is depressing, and that's all I seem to read lately is depressing memoirs. So if anyone has a clever, upbeat, happy book, please let me know. But this was excellent, even though it was sad. The book, This Is How You Lose the Time War, was not a book for me. We've got, think, sci-fi, romance, Romeo and Juliet, written kind of through letters, back and forth, time travel. All that was put in, which made me interested in the book initially, but as a novella, none of it was very well fleshed out. The thing it focused on mostly was the letters and the romance, and I didn't understand what was really happening in the Time War. It all came together in the end, but it just didn't really feel worth it to me, and I never felt any sort of emotional connection with the characters, and when you focus on the romance, you want to feel connected to that, or I would have wanted to be interested in more of the plot and the Time War, which needed to be more fleshed out. So yeah, 2 stars. It wasn't for me, but it did come together nicely towards the end. Well, thank you for joining me on this little book recap. If you have any thoughts on these books, I would love to hear it. See if you got any more meaning out of the books than I did. And thank you again to the lovely person who edits these videos. Sydney, you are amazing and talented. Thank you. And I have her link to her Instagram in the description below. Anyways, I will see you all next time.